hear ye, brave souls and curious onlookers. Gather round as the fires of fate crackle and the drums of destiny thunder across the Iron Realm. Welcome to episode 59 of our ever-unfolding saga, an odyssey forged in courage, betrayal, and choices that could topple kingdoms. It all began with a single spark in episode 1. And now, that ember has become an inferno. If you've only just arrived, O wandering soul, fret not. You've stumbled into the eye of the storm, but the entire journey is preserved. Every sword clash, whispered secret, and divine reckoning, waiting for you to binge with abandon. Each Wednesday night, our fellowship gathers at the sacred table, where imagination reigns and dice defy gravity. From there, the tale is cast into the production dungeon, where tireless trolls shape it with hammer and flame. And come Sunday, it rises anew, polished and radiant, unleashed upon the world via YouTube for all to witness. But lo, our reach stretches further still. We've sown breadcrumbs across the digital wilds. Facebook, Instagram, the Iron Realms wiki, even the enchanted scrolls of Pinterest. Follow us, stalk us, meme us. We revel in it all. Now, before we descend into the abyss of tonight's tale, let us first honor the champions who will shape fate itself. When your name is called, rise from the shadows. Speak your first name, your character's name, their race, class, and level. Let the crowd know who dares challenge the Iron Realm tonight.
First, we have Bradley.
Good evening, yes, I am Bradley, and tonight I am playing Kingfisher Blue, a level 6 Aarakocra monk, way to the open talon, who's smarter than you, and you know it, but I promise not to bring it up unless it becomes absolutely necessary. Alphazar.
Next, we have Rhea.
Hello, I am Rhea. I play Lominde. She is an level 5 elven rogue who much prefers pointy objects when they're not pointing at her.
Next, we have David.
Hello, my name is David. I play Q, a level 7 halfling cleric, an agent of chaos, and a believer in all things esoteric.
Next, we have Allison.
Hi, Allison. I play Theo and Cat, a Kalashar and Cat duo, rogues level 6.
And then we have Lisa.
Hi y'all, I'm Lisa. I play Aaron Stonefell, an High Elf Paladin, level 5. I fight for the innocent in the name of the true bog under a banner of glory. May the bog light your path, fellow warrior.
Then we have John.
Hello, I'm John. I play Zechariah, a 7th level human paladin, Oath of Devotion, completely and totally devoted to the Alpha Bog. Alphazar!
Last but not least, I am Chris. I'm your humble dungeon master, your narrator, your tormentor, your guide through chaos and wonder. And unfortunately, our other player, Matt, who plays Talnar, half-elf rogue thief, level 7, was not able to be with us tonight. We hope that he is doing well, and we hope to see him next time we play.
Steel your hearts, ready your spells, and let the story unfold. Previously in the Iron Realm. Title: Whispers in the Dark, Screams in the Snow. The battle surged in Snowvalia as Erin Stone fell and her otherworldly wolf, Frost, swiftly retreated into the safety of Kingfisher Blue's enchanted bowling bag. Theo and Cat emerged, ready to strike. Kingfisher opened the assault, driving talons into a vampire spawn, and Talnar follows with critical precision, finishing the creature before it could retaliate. From the dome of darkness, conjured by Lominde, a sable dawn tiefling stumbled out, racing toward the trees. Q attempted to trip him with divine command, but the Sable Dawn tiefling resisted and escaped. Inside the shadow, Lominde landed a vicious hit on a vampire spawn, setting the stage for its demise. But chaos followed. Zechariah's black ice spear nearly hamstrung Lominde in a poorly timed strike. Only her uncanny dodge saved her from disaster. Horrified, Zechariah slowed his advance and immediately turned to healing, restoring her with a prayer of devotion. He then corrected his aim, striking true and destroying the bloodied spawn he had nearly failed to finish. Meanwhile, the party attempted to control the emerging Sable Dawn tiefling threat. Q failed to halt a Sable Dawn tiefling with a word of command, as the Sable Dawn tiefling resisted. Crucially, both Zechariah and Kingfisher independently assessed the tactical landscape, confirming 3 distinct factions on the field, and noting that the Sable Dawn were focused solely on the vampire spawn. The confrontation with the Sable Dawn came to a head when Kingfisher succeeded on a high insight check, sensing a quiet, focused determination in a Sable Dawn tiefling. He called out, voice steady, "We fight together for now, but you have questions to answer later." The Sable Dawn tiefling met his gaze and shouted over his shoulder as he ran, "We're initiates!" Combat pressed on. Kingfisher lashed out at the vampire spawn closest to him, his strike strange and sharp, carrying the psychic weight of unrelenting labor. Late-night bookkeeping incarnate. The spawn dissolved into ash, wood smoke, and the scent of toasted marshmallows. A Sable Dawn tiefling followed up with an infernal stake just before the creature vanished. Lominde dropped her veil of darkness and carved into her vampire spawn opponent, landing a massive critical blow that left it barely clinging to unlife. Q scorched the field with sacred flame, searing a Sable Dawn tiefling with holy fire. A vampire spawn and Zechariah both missed their final attacks, but the tide had turned. Together, the adventurers and the Sable Dawn pressed the assault, sweeping Snowval Ire of nearly all its undead. Only 2 battered vampire spawn remained, snarling in defiance of the light. Join us tonight for episode 59, as the light of truth and dawn await our fellow adventurers in the ongoing saga of the Whispers of the Garnet Moon. Let's roll.
Good evening, fellow warriors.
All right. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody. Glad that
Huzzah!
Who were we missing? There we go. Okay. So, welcome back. Glad to see everybody. Sorry that Matt can't be here tonight, but we wish him well and can't wait for him to be back next week. But in the meantime, we still have unfinished business to attend to. Or I should say, the adventuring party has unfinished business to attend to. With 2 of our vampire spawn left and these initiates well in hand, we look towards finishing this fight, and we are at the top of the order. That means that Kingfisher Blue, you are up first. I know that there are a couple of things that need to happen during the course of your portion of this round, so we want to make sure that Talnar is able to get into your bag, and then, of course, Frost and Aaron Stonefell coming out of the bag. So
I hear the ringing of a bell, and I'm like, oh! And so I take off my backpack, or my bowling bag, backpack, whatever. I open it up, and the portal opens, and Matt goes in. I'm sorry, Tolnar goes in, and out come Aaron and Frost.
Da-da-da. So
I'll
Talma
let her.
leaves the field. I will move him up towards you, Kingfisher, so that he is with you. And so everyone in the party, including our Sable Dawn members that are surrounding your location, see Talnar sneak into the bag as a dire wolf with Aaron Stonefell riding on top come out of the bag into the mud and snow to join in the fight.
Thank you, kind sir.
And that will.
If you enjoyed your stay, please give us a 5-star review.
I will on.
Yep.
And that will be Kingfisher Blue. It's the beginning of your turn.
Remember to like, share, and subscribe.
Yes. All right. Seeing that 2 vampire spawn remain, I shall move myself promptly into the fray, and I will descend death from above onto vampire spawn with the green dot.
Okay, that's green.
Yes. And I will strike. I'm topic. Okay. I was remembering the order of my talons, and the last one I used, I remember now. So back to the top talons. I strike with my top right talon, and I miss. Oh no! My top left talon. 16 to hit.
16 just barely hits.
And that does 8 points of damage to vampire spawn green, and I just land on its head. I'm perched on top of its skull and bashing it with my talon.
As the rest of the group, you see Kingfisher Blue jump up on top of the vampire spawn. The vampire spawn is waving wildly, trying to get it off. And as he comes down, the vampire bursts into basically a radiant flame and then nothing but ash as it is killed.
Did I do that? Alphazar!
It is gone.
Most definitely, Alphazar.
All right.
I do my little bird dance, and I flip a feather to the orange vampire spawn.
Okay. You do
Or
what?
talon, as it were.
You do what to orange?
I flipped a talon at my middle talon goes up at vampire spawn orange.
Okay. Are you rolling for that, or you're just?
No, just a bonus gesture.
You're giving him the bird.
Yes, I am.
Essentially, the bird. Okay.
Yes, it's the universal symbol for Audubon when you flip someone the bird.
Okay. All right. So that ends your turn. That actually brings us to Vampire Spawn Orange, who will try and attack you, Kingfisher Blue, since you distracted him from anything else. And he's going to try and bite and claw. The bite 13, which misses, and 16 on claw.
Also misses.
Also misses. So
Yes.
doesn't do any better than it has done the entire time tonight. So that brings us to let's see, Lomende.
All right. I am going to try see if I could finish off what I started at the end of the last game and use Psychic Blades on Vampire Spawn Orange. 17 to hit.
17 does hit.
10 regular damage. And I'm going to roll for sneak attack really quick. And 14 sneak attack damage.
14 sneak attack damage? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and I'm going to bonus action. 15. Oh my god. Oh boy. That's rolling the wrong dice. And let's tack on the max amount of damage I can do for that turn, which is 8.
8?
Yeah.
Lominde, tell us how the legend will be written.
I will raise, chest heaving. There's grime and muck and crust under my fingernails from the coffins I opened earlier. And since you didn't get the memo the first time, things that usually die stay there. So I'm going to teach you a little bit of a lesson. And I'm going to take the psychic blade and stick it firmly into the side of its neck. And keep it materialized until it drops, and then I release.
Okay.
As it crumples to the ground and dissolves.
Okay. As you put that blade into its neck, the blade itself starts to pull up and catches on the skull as the body just deteriorates into a flash of flame, and the skull just pops into ash, and the body just floats into the air, into the crisp night air, leaving you holding your knife there, without the creature still on the end of the blade. Well done. Well done. All right. So
whatever you need to work on your witty endings.
Yes, I'm sorry. Okay.
Listen, I'm a rogue. I don't get paid to be quippy. I paid to murder people.
I think he was talking to me rather than to you.
Oh.
No, I was
Sorry.
talking to her.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
Well, the cleric can have his own opinion in the corner when he gets to kill things.
So my question to the group, as this encounter with these vampire spawn has concluded, do you wish to have your XP now, or do you wish to continue what's going on right here, right now, in the moment, with the hopes that you will have an opportunity for a long rest, that the XP can be given at that point? Talk amongst.
Yeah, we can wait. I think we can wait.
Yeah, I say wait. Yeah, keep with the flow of the game.
What do you
Yeah,
think?
do that later.
Okay. Is everybody in agreement about that?
Even you says we can do it later.
All right.
Do I recognize the original 3 tieflings?
Yes.
How far are they away from me? Oh wait, is that the ones that are colored?
Green, red, and
Oh, perfect.
are the 3.
So as soon as I see that Lominde separates that vampire spawn's head from its body, and I assess that the threat is over, I turn to Green and I say, speak quickly and speak true. Why did you abandon us here? Why did you go into that house?
From over your shoulder, you hear the distinct voice of one of the other Sable Dawn, who looks in your direction and says, I can answer that. Put your weapons away. He makes his way over to you. The rest of the Sable Dawn coming out and putting their weapons into their harnesses over their shoulders. They are not posing a threat as they make their way over towards the group.
I'll put my spear up. That's fine.
Okay. What does everybody else do?
I'm unarmed.
Well, as far as all of my weapons are concealed and or pseudo magic, so
okay,
they probably can't tell I have a knife hidden up my boot.
They may actually have knives up their boots that you don't know about either.
Everyone should have a knife up their boot.
Some of the others are move in towards you, while there are others that are on the outskirts watching the rest of the area. The one that spoke to you, in fact, the three, red, green, and purple, they all get on their knees, looking in the direction of Mask, or not Mask. I guess it's a mask of whatever kind you want to call it. But he looks at you, and in fact, I think I may have shown you the picture. Let's make sure that you guys can see them again. Show your players. Come on, show the players.
Oh yeah, that's a friendly bunch.
Okay. So each are wearing black and red leather armor. They have various totems, books, as well as weapons. Some are carrying stakes on bandoliers, and there's like 4 or 5 stakes. Some of them have silver trinkets around their necks. They're all red-skinned tieflings. They all are wearing the black and red, like I said. But the main one that spoke to you, he kind of kneels down and rubs his hands in the dirt, mud, and snow that is on the ground. And he says, I can get to his name. Helps if I can. My name is Emberthorn.
Sable Dawn, thanks for fighting vampire spawn.
My name is Emberthorn, and I am the sect commander. This is Snovalia. It is our training ground for initiates. What we call the rite of branding. I apologize that you got caught up in this, but it was the only way that we could flush out the remaining vampire spawn that have taken over this town. Rest assured, none of you were supposed to get hurt, and we will be happy to help with healing of anyone that has been wounded. These 3, and he looks over at green, purple, and red, who have their head bowed and are not saying much. These 3 initiates have failed at their task, which was to rid the town of the vampire spawn. We take this very, very, very seriously. You got caught in the middle, and we apologize for that. We were
How did they fail?
How did they fail? They were supposed to kill all of the vampire spawn, yet the final blow went to one of your own.
I
Finders
fail
keepers.
to see the significant difference.
Go ahead, Lominde. What were you going to say?
I just said finders keepers.
He chuckles and he says, "It's very interesting that you say that. And since you were the last to rid this town of the vampire spawn, we offer you a place among our cloister. If you choose, you will take the place of one of these 3 initiates. And in fact, these 3 initiates may not last the night." And as he says that, the sky above actually begins, the clouds that were above your head begin to dissipate, and the sun starts shining, and you can feel the warmth of the sun beat down on your skin, and you all feel the exhaustion of what has just transpired, as well as everything from the journey from Epheren to this point just hit you like a ton of bricks. Emberthorn looks at you and says, "Most of these houses are only the facade. It is the outside shell. Inside are entrances to a labyrinth below the city where we stay in the hopes of finding whatever it is that is creating these vampire spawn."
Kingfisher is going to open his wings, not offensively, of course, just, but he's going to shelter Initiate Red and look at the one speaking and say, these initiates fought bravely and true. They did not falter from their mission. If you're saying they won't last the night, I object. And I'll look at Red, I'm like, you can come with us.
Red looks back at you and he says, "My entire life has been culminating in this one particular rite of passage, the what we consider to be the rite of initiation, and to not be able to dispatch these creatures is it is a failure on our part." And the other 2 nod their head. They know.
Balderdash! A failure. We fought together valiantly and true. Just because you didn't deliver the final blow, I didn't either, and I don't consider myself a failure. The failure is these people, and I point to the leader of the Sable Dawn, in recognizing the power of teamwork. And yes, I'm smarter than you, and you know it. Putting these men to death for this failure would be stupid. And you're stupid. And your whole plan is stupid. Work together. There's no, oh my, we didn't deliver the final blow, so we're gonna, whatever, man. You're sick in the head.
I address Ember. Is it Ember Fawn or Ember
Thorn?
Thorn. Ember Thorn.
Ember Thorn.
So I address Ember Thorn and I say, what is the purpose of the Sable Dawn? What are you tasked with doing besides destroying these vampire spawn? I don't know if they're a huge problem, but you're trying to find the origin of why they're created.
We are infernal vampire hunters. We carry the task of rooting out the entire Iron Realm of vampire and vampire hordes, wherever they may be. There are sects all over the Iron Realm. You just happen to have come in contact with our particular our sect here in this part of Asterag.
I'm a soldier, originally a soldier from Asterag in the standing army there. Would I have any chance that I would have heard of Sable Dawn? Would we have done anything together? Would I have known of them at all? Can I try and see if I've ever heard of them? Or
you can roll a history check. Same thing with Aaron. You two.
17.
17. Okay. What you got, Aaron?
Ten.
I'm sorry, say again.
10.
10. Okay.
I've never heard of it.
Now, I'm from Ithaca, but Nature is from Asterag. And being a tiefling, he may also have heard of them and may have shared some tales.
You can roll. Everyone can roll a history check if you choose to.
Hey, Relpec. Since I'm standing by Relpec, I'm gonna ask Relpec if he's heard of these Sable Dawn, or if any of his study. So, Relpec, in any of your studies, have you ever heard of this group, Sable Dawn? I'm unfamiliar with it. In all of my studies, I've never come across it before.
He looks at you and says that I know of Sable Dawn. I've heard of them. I know what they can do and what they've done in the past. They are a very exclusive sect, a group. But they have been around for a millennia. They are in the old texts as well as the recent texts. Their work is legendary in ridding the Iron Realm of vampires and vampire spawn. Anything that's a bloodsucker or a life drainer. In some cases, they call them life drainers. They're well known, but it isn't unheard. It isn't. What's the right word for it? You not knowing of them does not surprise me, because they are very. The right word for it would be not inclusive or exclusive, but
Inclusive.
They live on rumor and hearsay.
They keep cloistered?
They keep cloistered very, very close.
They're reclusive.
Would you like
Reclusive.
to walk with me and Frost down to the group and speak with them? It seems like they're having a very heated discussion about the 3 initiates. Or do you think we should hang back here and see how it plays out?
if what as much as I would like to be involved in what is going on, I think that it would be best, Miss Erin, that we let their traditions and their customs work themselves out, because these three have been working to this point, and their failure to dispatch the creatures on their own is part of that ritual, and
Can
not
I ask
something that
a
we should.
question?
Go ahead.
I believe the problem that my dear friend Kingfisher Blue is having is that he's afraid that the 3 initiates will be put to death, or something along those lines. Do you think that they would actually put them to death for failure, or is it that they will be turned out and that they will no longer have guidance in their task any longer, and thus end up in a dangerous situation that might end up in death?
Well, I certainly understand what you're saying. And he begins to start walking towards the rest of the group as he's talking with you. He looks in your direction and then continues walking. He says, there are many ways that this could go. They could be turned away. They could be put to death. They could also be required to perform another initiation in another town that they find vampire spawn, or that they are called to look at or look after the townspeople. It is clear that this town has been cleansed of the vampire spawn, but past that I don't know. He gets to the outer rim of the group and sees that the arguments are, the conversations are still going on, and looks over at Aaron and says, let's listen a little bit more, and maybe we'll find out exactly what their fate will be. Q, you have your hand raised.
I was going to ask a question, but somebody else already got to it and answered it.
Okay.
Depending upon how what's his name answered the question, I determined what my action was, but we got an answer, so my action was held.
Okay. So, anybody else entering into the conversation, just listening? What Theo and Kat, what are you doing, as well as Lomende, what are you doing?
I mean, we're just listening to the conversation. We'd rather not input any of our thoughts at this time.
Lomende?
Lomende bristles a little, not super fond of the fact that they chose not to reveal they were initiates until we were well into the fight, and so we got into this awful fight while we're just trying to get back to a place she's never even been.
Mm-hmm.
I've never even been. And upon all of that, now I've been asked to join this order, which I have no idea what's going on. I don't know who these people are. And also, it is killing vampires all the time. Hello?
Okay.
It's not something I
All
really
you
find.
blushes.
Eh,
Okay.
Well, okay, Lomondé and I both rolled 19 on our history checks, by the way.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, so you're offering the position to her. Why not me? I killed the next to last one. I'm the penultimate conqueror here. I said, but no, that's not your way. Only the last blow counts. That's what she said. Now,
Emberthorn.
I spoke to my friend here, the initiate Red, and apparently he's okay with whatever you're going to do. And I can't make a man choose life over death. I can only offer it to him. So if red or green or purple here wish to live past the night as you so ominously threatened they might not, I offer them my protection. If they so choose, they are under my protection. I cannot speak for my friends, but they are under my protection. So, with a word from them, a yea or a nay, I will either fight for them to the death, or I will let them march on to the road. What say ye?
Purple and green are both still on their knees with their heads bowed. They're not saying a word. Red looks at you, Kingfisher, and then he looks at Emberthorn, and he says, Lord, we've done what you asked. We have tried our best. We request that the rite of branding be completed as the rites say they must. You have witnesses that we have tried. You have witnesses that say they will protect us no matter what the outcome is. What say you? He stands on to his feet and kind of leans against you, Kingfisher, for just a moment and then regains his standing. He says, what say you?
Put my wing around Red.
Emberthorn looks from the group that is standing there, then looks at Lomondé and says, do you join us, or do you give your right to branding to these three men?
I give it to them. I thought we came in here and started fighting because we thought they were in danger. It was a completely different set of expectations for us as it was for them going into this. So it's not fair for me and the rest of my companions here to be considered an initiate when we were trying to not die. I mean, this means a lot more to them than it ever would to me. And I mean, how I got here is a crazier story, but, I've been with this group of people for a while, and I'm loath to leave the task unfinished. I give up my right of branding.
Emberthorn looks at everyone, one face to the other, looks at each of you, and says, so be it. He looks back at Lomondé, and he says, there is something about you that is clearly not what it should be. I do not know what it is, but you are different than who you stand here showing us. And that is okay. That is accepted. He claps his hand, and the rest of Sable Dawn comes into a tightly knit circle. One of Sable Dawn's members pulls their cloak hood back from their head. And there are tattoos all over the skin, all over the horns, even the eyelids, the fingers, hands, the wrist, for what you can see, has tattoos written all over it. The rite of branding, she says, in a booming voice, is not something to be taken lightly. It is not something that you just become. You must prove yourself. And it is easy to run away. It is easy to fall. But now we will initiate these three. I need, and she looks at your group, I need each of you to stand in a circle around this tree. And she points at the gigantic tree with all of the leaves that are right there. So where Aaron is standing is the base of the tree. Everybody needs to move outside away from the tree in a circle. So if you would do that, the Sable Dawn members will also do the same. Everyone begins to move in a circular pattern around the base of the tree. And I'm assuming that Dire Wolf, Zechariah, your Dire Wolf is going to be outside of the circle, so to speak.
Yeah, as close to Relpec as possible.
Okay. Relpec is going to move outside the circle as well. The three initiates go to the base of the tree. So Zechariah and Kingfisher and you all need to move outside the circle as well, please.
Outside the circle?
Well, around the circle, as part of the circle.
I'm sticking near Emberthorn, by the way.
Okay.
I remain near Initiate Red and offer my support and
okay.
comfort.
The Emberthorn actually says you need to move outside the circle. So, and he indicates you, Kingfisher, that you need to move. The reason being is that the once cloaked tiefling lights the tree on fire, and it begins to glow a red and green flame up from the center of the tree. The initiates at the base of the tree are highlighted by the glow of the embers as the tree catches fire. The brain is not working right now. The Sable Dawn member looks. I can get my. They do what it's supposed to do. It keeps going backwards, forwards. Come on. The sister, as she is called, and you, Zechariah, you actually hear Emberthorn say this. Sister Nyx, begin the ritual. And as she pulls from her cloak, she begins to start talking in Tiefling. Does anybody have the ability to understand Tiefling or Fae? Anything of that nature? Languages?
Well, I would know a little, but you're talking about infernal or
Infernal, not Fae. Infernal, sorry. Okay.
not enough.
The initiates are told to kneel. And then they are told to speak their sins. Each of them speaking of their sins, regrets, and infernal lineage. They confess what has happened to them in the past, what is happening to them now, and what they believe will happen to them in the future. As they are giving their confession of the flame, the Sister Nyx takes out a small bowl and she crushes the heap of ash that's left over from the last of the vampire spawn, puts it into the bowl, and then walks to each of the tieflings that the initiates that are standing there or sitting there, on their knees there, and she cuts right behind the ear and takes a small amount of blood from each of them and begins to grind into the bowl. She takes the bowl and places it in front of Purple, and then takes another pole that she has within her cloak that has a symbol on it about 3.5 inches, and this is cast iron, as you can tell. She puts that cast iron rod into the flame of the burning tree until it is bright and glowing red. She goes in front of each of the tieflings and pulls their shirts apart so that the top of their chest right below their neck is exposed. She puts a mark with that ash and that blood on their chest right below the neck, right there on the chest. And she goes to each of them. And then she goes back to the tree and grabs that red hot cast iron poker and comes back around to each of them. She begins to chant, and those of you who can understand Infernal understand that she is saying a prayer over each of them. And as she does, you see her press that glowing hot poker onto their chest. And as it burns into their flesh, you see this. Each of them falls to their into prostate as the burning hot poker is removed from their chest, and they are down on their hands and knees on the ground. They haven't said a word, but she finishes and then places the hot poker on the ground in some of the snow and mud that is laying there. And she says, "You are branded as part of Sable Dawn. You are no longer initiates. You are now part of the Dawn." she looks at each and says, "You are Sable Dawn." And then she turns back to the rest of the group of adventurers and she says, "You stand as witnesses. You are now Dawn scribes, bound by the rituals of the sacred dawn. Should your services ever be needed, we know where to find you." She goes back over to each of the tieflings that are on the ground, these no longer initiates, and she lightly taps them with her foot, and each rises up. They cover their bodies with the glowing ember, the scar, for lack of a better word, of the initiate, and the branding. And other members of the Sable Dawn that are there as witnesses, they come up and hand over pieces of their own black and red uniforms, because part of the ritual, as Emberthorn says, part of the ritual is that they give a piece of themselves to their brothers and their sisters when they become part of the Full Dawn. The tree begins to dissipate as far as the flame is concerned, and when you look back at the tree, it's completely healed. It was never burned to a crisp of any kind. Emberthorn says, "You are more than welcome to stay here in town, if you wish, under our protection, and to rest, and to regain what you have lost, whether it be health, spells, whatever it may be. We have food aplenty, and we can offer protection from anything that might come out." And he kind of chuckles. "But I have a very good feeling that each of you can hold your own, as it's been very apparent over the course of the last couple of days, or the last day. What say you? Do you stay and feast with us and rest with us, or will you be on your way?"
I do think we all could use a very good nap.
Party!
Yes. And thank you, Ember Moon. Anyway, so
my name is
thank you
Emberthorn.
Ember. I'm sorry, what?
Emberthorn.
Emberthorn. Yes, I'm very sorry. Yes, thank you, Emberthorn, for listening to reason and for offering a reasonable solution. I applaud you and your organization and these fine initiates. Red, call me. We accept your hospitality, or at least I do. I can't speak for everyone else, but I think we would welcome your offer of hospitality and rest.
6 years running, Grain Soak Ale reigns supreme in the kingdom of Ithaca. Crafted by the Grain Soak brothers in small batches, originally served only in the Dusty Kettle Tavern in Balastavia, now served across the realms. A wine is just a wine, but an ale is a brew. Grain Soak Ale now served across Ithacoth and Asterag, not sold in Aphomet. Drink responsibly. Not suitable for halflings, gnomes, or fairies. We appreciate what you have done here. You helped in a very tense situation, but we knew that they would eventually win or lose. It is completely up to them on how they handle themselves against the vampire spawn, wherever they may be. But one of the things that we have yet to find is where these vampire spawn are coming from. Underneath us is a labyrinth of rooms and tunnels that we have made in order to get from one building to another quickly, as you have apparently seen, but we still have not found the source. If you choose, after a
I
time,
see where this is going.
to help us, we will certainly provide you with a bounty. Or if you choose to go along your way afterwards, we hold nothing against that. That is completely up to you. We know that you probably have other places that you need to get to. All we can do is ask.
I see where this is going, and I'll confer with the party, but I think we would all very much like to get to Havenwood. I know Relpeck certainly would. And we would be certainly happy to come back after that and help you. At least I would. So I will leave it up to the majority rule with the party as whether we go or stay.
What say the rest of you? He looks around the group as everyone kind of mingles and starts talking with the initiates, or no longer initiates, the new members of Sable Dawn. And as they are putting on their clothes, getting themselves salves to go over the burn marks and the scars begin to form. What say the rest of you? Do you choose to stay, or will you be moving on? What do you want to do with your time?
I say we move
I
on.
address. Go ahead, David.
I say after a rest, we move along.
I'm beside Ember Thorn, and I say, Zechariah says, you have shown wisdom here today. And even though you have called us Dawn Scribes, I myself am completely devoted to the Alpha Bog. And I know that your cause seems just, but I believe, at least for me, that you need to continue your mission, your quest to find the source of these, the creation of these vampire spawn, and eradicate them yourselves. And I know for myself, I want to return to Havenwood.
He places his hand on your shoulder, Zechariah. He says, I certainly understand where you're coming from. I certainly understand that you have a mission that you need to complete. Not everyone that's in your group is exactly who they seem to be or who they say they are. But that's a good thing, because not all of us are who we say we are. You're just going to have to find that out for yourself. But in the meantime, we have a celebration to attend to, and we invite you to stay. Once you have rested, once you have gotten everything that you need to addressed, we will provide you with a cart as well as 2 horses for those that do not necessarily want to walk the many miles that are ahead of you to get to Havenwood. But once you do return to Havenwood, we ask that you speak the words Snowvalia to the horses that you take, for they will turn around with the cart and come back to us as they are trained. If that is acceptable, please join us as we celebrate these 3 new members of Sable Dawn. And he looks over in the direction of Lomonday, and he says, "It's such a shame that she said no. She would be the first non-tiefling to be a member of Sable Dawn in the millennia that we have been in existence. She knows many things that you need to listen to. She's going to go very far." With that, he pats you on the back, almost a slam that knocks you a bit forward, Zechariah, and he laughs wholeheartedly and goes over to embrace the 3 tieflings that have become members of Sable Dawn and says, "It's time to celebrate." Food, drink are all pulled out of multiple houses. More tieflings actually enter into this area where you are. And beginning of music and celebration, singing, laughter. The 3 initiates are sore, obviously. But they all are, kind of rubbing their chest, and then others will show off their chest and the one Sable Dawn branding, and the others that surround them, smaller, and then showing off the individual scars up and down their arms where they have they're showing off their skills and their kills of vampire spawn, some with hundreds of marks, some with just a few. The 3 tieflings that are that have been initiated and are part of this group, they all take out a knife and they cut into their skin, showing the marks of the kills of the day. For you all have, without a doubt, have killed off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 vampire spawn.
Wow.
The celebration continues well into the evening. There are members of Sable Dawn that are sitting around joking with each other, drinking and being merry. Some have gotten quite inebriated, but the group has the opportunity of talking with members of Sable Dawn as well as each other and just resting, whatever you choose to do. So I will go in order and ask what each of you are doing with the time. Q and
I'll be right back. I have to run, make a restroom run. Hold up.
Okay. Q and you, what are you doing?
Well, you is grazing peacefully. I am asking questions about halfling history to see if anybody knows any tales of long ago.
Okay.
From halfling history.
Okay. The tiefling that you talk to, the member of Sable Dawn, he says, "I know of a wandering band of halflings. They roam the world as we know it, this Iron Realm, with their entire contents on their back. They worship under a great tree and move from place to place, selling their wares as they go to make money for the food that they need to survive. They use no horses, no donkeys, no airships, just the feet that the gods have provided them. I do not know their name, but it is written in legend.
So I say thank you. Take notes.
All right. Zechariah, what are you doing?
If Emberthorn is still available, is he still available?
Of course.
So as I'm sitting there with him, I'll say, Zechariah says, you have mentioned something. You seem to know something about one of the members in this group. And I believe you're referring to Lomondé. Can you expound on that?
My friend, I cannot. For it is not me that you should be asking. It is her.
Oh, I shall.
What I know is very little. From what I can see, she is very important, not only to you, but to your entire group. That is all I can say.
So I'll leave it at that. I'll begin to regale him of some of my former exploits as a soldier and understanding how sometimes leaders have to be harsh in their discipline, especially if they are in some type of a struggle between good and evil.
He hands you a plate of food and he says, I know this is not what you're accustomed to. I can get my words out right. But he listens to your story with intensity. He listens to you, and then he gives you stories of his exploits and the exploits of the sect, and says, I hope that what I tell you, you will remember for future generations. Write it down, because our sect does not write anything down. That's why we are so exclusive, as well as not well known. We keep our traditions orally rather than written down. So I hope that you will take away a little bit of what we have done here today. I know that it is very different from what you are used to. You being a soldier, though, will understand the idea of having something that is so sacred and so in tune with what our people, the tiefling people, do. It is a ritual that we don't hold lightly, and we are small in numbers at this point, due to the attacks that the vampire spawn have done to us. So, and he kind of looks off in the distance and thinks about it a little bit. He chuckles and he says, we may be small, but we are mighty. And continues talking with you and regaling you with stories into the night, and hands you more drink, more food, and says, it seems that you are famished. You and your group need to feed as much as you can, because the trek back to Havenwood is a long one, and in some cases can be very treacherous.
Okay, I'm back.
Lomondé, what are you doing?
Oh goodness. I'm just kind of sitting there twiddling with various things I find in my pack. If anyone comes up to talk to me, I'm willing to talk to them. I'm not acting like super closed off, but I am very much just, sitting down, eating, drinking, but keeping closer to the people that I'm more familiar with.
Um, Tiefling Red actually comes over and he says, may I sit for a moment?
Sure.
He sits down across from you and he says, I want to thank you for what you said today. Without your noble sacrifice, we would not be where we are now, which is full members of the Sable Dawn. You carry yourself differently than you are, and it is very clear to us because we've never seen anyone quite like you before. We hint at it to the others in your group, but we're not going to say anything. But we know. And it's a good thing. You keep yourself safe, and when you are ready to return, if you want to return, we will open our arms to you. He hands over a small bowl that is silver, and in the middle of it is the inscription in Tiefling that says, I am who I say I am. I do what I'm supposed to do, whether known or unknown. He says, this is for you. This is something that I've carried for many for generations of my family have carried this as part of our tradition in Sable Dawn. Whether you keep it, whether you sell it, is completely up to you. But I give it as a thank you gift for you helping to spare my life today. He gets up and walks away back into the fold and grabs the other three, and they hug each other and they continue to talk. Kingfisher Blue, what are you doing?
Yeah, my interaction was going to be with that particular tiefling, so I walk up to Red and I said, that was beautiful. We've only known Lomondé for a short time, but she has proven herself in battle and in friendship, and I was proud to stand by her side and by your side today, to defend your right and your honor. I've only known one other tiefling in my life. His name is Nature Cosmos. He's from this area, the Cosmos clan from the Halfwood. And he currently resides in the city of Highwind in Ithacoth. Ithacoth is currently undergoing a very peculiar vampire problem themselves. So I offer you this, if you are ever in Highwind on mission or leisure or whatever. Stop by Phoenix Script Apothecaries, and then I take out my my Kingfisher, my signet ring that has the feathered anchor on it, and I go heat it up by the fire, and I say, "May I? I mean, what's one more, right?" And so I ask him to hold out his arm.
Okay. He looks at you and in recognition. He says, I know of the Halfwood. I know of the struggles that Ithacoth is going through because our sects within Ithacoth struggle every day. It's not unheard of. But what I will do is I will send a message in that direction with your name and ours, so that hopefully word of your ongoing doings will be recorded, and at least someone in Ithakoth will know that you and the others are alive and well. Past that, I don't know what will happen next. The future is completely open, as you well know. We don't know what will happen, but I do thank you for your words.
I offer this signet as a symbol of friendship. I felt like, I was harsh to you at first, but you stood fast and proved brave, and I would like to offer this to you as a symbol of our friendship and bond.
He takes it and he looks at it and he puts it on his
Oh no,
person.
I was going to brand him with it.
Oh, he kind of grabs his chest and goes, "Oh no more branding today." But he has a small ringlet of beads that is hanging off of one of his horns, and he gently pulls it off of the horn and he hands it to you and he says, "In friendship, anything is possible. May this be a remembrance to you of our time. And whether good, bad, or indifferent, hopefully this will bring a smile to your face and know that you are protected under us as we are protected under you." And he hands you over the ringlet with the beads on it.
I'll remove a feather and hand it to him and say, I accept the honor of being a Dawn scribe, and I thank you for your gift, and I'll give him one of my feathers.
Theo and Kat, what are you doing?
Sorry about that. I was tending to a text message from family.
That's fine.
I'm actually going to make my way to Aaron whilst we are still here talking and conversing, and the cat is held in Theo's arms because frankly the ground is very cold. She's just frozen her paws off. And I will say, Aaron, is there any way that you can fix this? And with that, the human's mouth opens and the monster tongue just comes right out like a snake.
Okay. So this is a great opportunity. Aaron?
So what I would like to do is actually to see if we can call over the priestess Nyx and for her to help me with this prayer of healing, and if she is willing. And so I'm going to bow to her, and because she's nearby the fire where we were, and I'm going to Priestess Nyx, I know that you don't know me well, and I am a follower of the one true Bog, and I have a friend who is in dire need of healing, and she has asked for my help. And I feel that if, as sisters in faith, we come together and lay hands on our sister, that we will have success in the healing of our friend. Would you be willing to do that with me?
She looks at you, Aaron, and then she looks at Kat and Theo. She looks at this long, monstrous tongue that is hanging out of your mouth. And she says, "That is a demon's tongue that does not belong there."
You are correct.
She says, "I feel the aura of what has transpired and why this has happened. But I will help in any way that I can. But I ask that Relpek join us."
So, Relpek, sir, have you been listening to our conversation?
He looks over and he says, "Oh, I have. And
Would
I'm
you
glad
join
that it
us?
is time. I'm glad that it is time." I'm sorry, Aaron, I did not mean to interrupt you.
No.
What are you going to say?
No, join us. I think if we join hands, or put our hands upon Theo and Kat, because together they are a symbiosis at this time. And so I'm going to call upon the true bog, and I'm going to cast the spell that I know, the prayer of healing. And then Nyx, Madam Nyx, I ask that you cast or bless however your way is of healing. And Relpek, what say you?
Less is good. Prayer of healing. Is that what you were doing?
Yes. Prayer of healing.
Okay. So. Mine is.
He is doing that. I will make a note that Theo, at this point in time, after hearing about talk of being given a blessing and praying over, she's gotten kind of nervous,
Yeah.
like shaky, kind of nervous, and she's methodically petting the cat to try and calm herself down.
And that's when her friend Erin is going to reach down and put her hands on her shoulders and say, "My dear friend, it is just you and I.
Okay.
And I love every part about you. Every part. And I call upon the glory of the true bog to heal every part of you and every inch of every millimeter, every molecule that you have within your frame, regardless of its origin, and be healed. Be healed. And let it be so.
All right. So, Relpek lays his hands upon your head. Nyx stands back from each of you with her hands raised, almost as if she is holding up a wall with her hands, and her hands begin to glow. Relpek, whose hands are on your head, Theo, feel like warmth, like sun, like sunshine, bathing your entire body. And the rest of the group, you see that her hair and her skin begins to glow. Relpek's hands start to glow. Aaron, you need to roll.
20-sided die?
What's your healing that you have to roll for your level? If anyone else has healing that wishes to be involved in this, you can do this. You can help with this too.
20.
20.
20.
Okay.
That was 3d8s.
Okay.
20.
Who else is it? Q, are you joining?
Yeah.
Come on, cleric.
18.
18. Okay.
Come on, creature.
Okay.
Ah.
Her Nyx's hands go from almost a red amber to a blue, then to a green. Relpek's hands continue to glow, and Nick and Theo and Kat have this. You just feel this whole warmth, and you feel your mouth start to grow and then contract and grow again and contract and grow again. Is anybody else adding to this? Kingfisher?
I rolled a 13. I also have a potion of greater healing.
Your potion of greater healing. Gotta get that up here. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Cancel. Greater healing is 4d4 plus 4.
Yes.
So, roll your 4d4 plus 4.
Ten.
10.
Wait. Yeah. 2, 4, 5, 6. Yes. 10 points.
Okay. Zechariah, are you joining in this or
And
no?
this is before we've taken our. This is prior to our rest, right?
This is before the rest.
So I see what's going on And I've overheard some of the things that are going on, and so as Emberthorn is winding down one of his stories, I take it as a chance to kind of break off conversation with him, and I'll come over closer to the group, and I'll start to pray to the Alpha Bog, and I'll join in. I'll also place hands on Theo and Kat, and I'll do a Cure Wounds at 2nd level.
Okay. Roll, please.
So 24 healing.
Before healing. Okay. Theo and Kat, you feel and see all of your group surrounding you, including Sister Nyx, and they are all praying, and they have their hands on you and hands up towards you. You feel this immense amount of compassion and love, and just this incredible feeling. The tongue that is in your mouth breaks loose and falls out. You look down as it splots onto the ground and it withers. And your first thought is, oh no. But then you feel the stub of your tongue begin to move and to grow in your mouth. You can feel it brushing against your teeth. You can feel the roof of your mouth and the saliva that is in there. And the beginning of your voice is not garbled or monstrous as it has been with the mimic's tongue that you have had for so long. And your heart realizes that these people have changed your life forever. That sense of glowing and being ends, and everybody moves back and can see that you can speak and that you can talk. And what are the first words that come from your mouth?
My name is Kat. For your information. And there is a lot more about us that you don't know about.
You see the other members of Sable Dawn that are standing around and watching this in complete silence start to clap and to cheer and huzzah. All of the members of your group are in one shape or form standing there, seeing one of your members healed from a wound that has been going on for a number of years. And that sense of camaraderie and brotherhood, sisterhood, family is there. And it is a joyous occasion. And there is more food that comes out and more drink that comes out. The bonfires grow. Everybody just has that sense of awe and wonder about this miraculous healing. And I hate to say this, but it's time for everyone to enjoy a long rest.
Alphazar.
Alphazar. And that's where we're going to end tonight. We are ending just a little bit early, and that's mainly because we started early tonight. But wow, what a great episode!
Awesome.
What a great time! Congratulations, Theo and Kat, and to everybody else. You know, this is a great episode. We haven't gotten to do this in quite a long time. It's all fighting and battles and everything else.
Right.
Very, very exciting. And the story continues as we come out of a long rest next week and begin the rest of our journey to Havenwood and further into the Whispers of the Garnet Moon. For those of you who are watching and listening today, we thank you so much for being with us, enjoying the ride, being a part of the adventure. We ask that you please tell everybody that you know, whether you, hey, just grab somebody on the street and say, hey, have you heard of the Iron Realm? They have a really great D&D, and we want you to be a part of it. We are on YouTube, we are on Facebook, we are everywhere, and we want you to be a part of the journey. So until the next time, we hope that you have a wonderful rest of your week, and until next Wednesday, let's roll.
Through the jagged peaks, the cold winds bite. A lone shadow moves in the pale moonlight. A sword at her side, a map in her hand, chasing whispers of a far-off land. Oh, the Iron Realm calls her name. Through fire, through frost, through glory, through shame. With treasure ahead and monsters behind, she walks a path where fate is blind. The rivers roar, the waters freeze. Her steps are slow through the blackened trees. In the forest clutch, the wolves do cry, but the fire in her heart will not die. Oh, the Iron Realm calls her name. Through fire, through frost, through glory, through shame. With treasure ahead and monsters behind, she walks a path where fate is blind. The rivers roar, the waters freeze. Her steps are slow through the blackened trees. In the forest clutch, the wolves do cry, but the fire in her heart will not. The sands do shift, the sun does burn. Through endless dunes, there's no return. The shadow of wings in the desert sky. A dragon's roar, her battle night.